and welcome to my live stream on Zen Living. I took copious notes, so excuse me for having to refer to them. I just was really inspired and took a whole bunch of notes. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and or join the memberships. They are popping off with content, and I would hate for you to miss it. So the Zen lifestyle is centered around mindfulness, simplicity, and inner peace. It promotes a way of life that is minimalist, present-focused, and deeply intentional. It's about decluttering your physical space, but also your mind, emotions, and daily habits. What we'll be exploring: the philosophy of Zen living, the core principles of Zen lifestyle, practical ways to live a Zen life, Zen mindset and emotional well-being, Zen and physical well-being, Zen and relationships, Zen creativity and work, and Zen spirituality and meditation. So the philosophy of Zen living. The core idea is that enlightenment comes through direct experience rather than intellectual study. Zen is not about worship or dogma, but about living with awareness, simplicity, and harmony with nature. Zen is about being fully present in every moment, experiencing reality as it is without mental filters. And this is so important because a lot of times we live our life with certain mental filters, with certain preconceived notions and biases. And Zen living is all about living without those. Letting go of expectations, attachments, and ego, and finding deep meaning in simplicity. Zen living is about bringing this philosophy into every aspect of life, from how you eat to how you work, love, and create. So this is for all facets of your life, all disciplines, all of it. Zen living is for all of it, and it's wonderful. The core principles of a Zen lifestyle. First, simplicity. It encourages removing the non-essential to focus on what truly matters. It applies to material possessions, relationships, thoughts, and actions. The goal is to reduce mental and physical clutter to create a calm, peaceful space, both internally and externally. Mindfulness. The idea that every moment is unique and should be fully experienced. Being completely engaged in whatever you do. So being completely and 100% present in everything that you're doing at all times as much as possible. It removes stress by focusing only on the present task rather than multitasking or worrying about the future. Now, when we're present focused, that means that we're focused on the here and the now. When we're focused on the past, that means that we might be ruminating on stuff that's happened in our past that has been difficult for us to deal with. When we're focused on the future, it usually means that we're worried about something that's upcoming. So really staying centered and focused in the present is so important when it comes to Zen living and when it comes to mindfulness. Non-attachment. So this is about letting go of desires, expectations, and rigid beliefs. This doesn't mean that you can't keep your beliefs. It just means that you want to be a little bit more loose in the rigidity of them. You want to be open-minded. You want to be able to have free thought, free flow, and be in a place where you're not so stuck on being right. You're not so stuck on this one singular mindset that you have, that you're not allowing yourself to stop from growing and stop from learning. Because that's what we're all here to do in order to grow and to be our best selves, is to learn more, is to have an open mind. Accepting things as they are rather than trying to control them. Now, I know this one is big for a lot of people. It's so easy to get focused on the things that we want to control, on our finances, on our lives, on our relationships, on our work, on a plethora of things. But letting go of things, accepting them as they are instead of how we want them to be, is a great way to live in that Zen lifestyle. This leads to freedom from suffering, and this is how. Suffering comes from wanting reality to be different. I really want you to think about that and soak it in for a sec. Suffering comes from wanting reality to be different. How oftentimes have you felt tortured in your mind, perhaps, because you want things to be different in your reality? Now, that's not to say that you don't have actions that you can take in order to change your reality. Not at all. It just simply means that when you're totally focused on wanting to change your reality, when you're unwilling to accept your reality for what it is, then there is no easy way for there to be a change or for there to be growth. When you're constantly wishing that things were different, you're unable to be present, you're unable to accept the gifts that you have. We oftentimes forget so much about gratitude, but this is the way to do it. And this is a way to eliminate suffering. Constantly wishing for things to be different without understanding that it is within your power to make changes in your life so that way you can eliminate this type of suffering. That's the key. Understanding that that is where such a huge part of our suffering comes from, is the wanting of things to be different, of being unable to accept things for as they are. Naturalness. Living in harmony with nature and your true self. So what does this mean? Nature doesn't just mean being outside. Nature also means your environment, the people that you're around, your work, the things that you have in your life. Living in harmony with them, being in acceptance of all of these things. It embraces the idea that everything flows effortlessly when we stop resisting life. How many times have you found yourself resisting, being in a place of resistance, being in a place of no, 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 instead of being in a place of acceptance? I'm sure it's happened quite often, because I know it's happened quite often for me personally. In my life, there's times when I'm just like, wow, no, this is not something that I can do, or wow, no, this is not something that I want to accept. But the truth is that when we're able to embrace the idea that things are going to flow much more effortlessly once we stop resisting, our life becomes so much easier. Our life becomes so much more natural and so much more simpler, because we're allowing ourselves to go with the flow rather than constantly being stuck in a place of negativity, in a place of no, in a place of non-acceptance, in a place of I'm not going to accept things for as they are. I'm only going to accept things for how I expect them to be. Dropping your expectations and allowing yourself to simply go with the flow and allow the universe to provide to you whatever it is that it wants to provide to you. And trusting in the natural rhythms of the universe. Because there are natural rhythms and there are natural flows. And things are not always going to go your way, or so it seems, but a lot of it is going to be dependent upon your perception. Are you able to really focus in and hone in on the fact that we are not always completely in control. Control is something that we kind of invent, to be quite honest. It's a way to set goals. It's a way to have a way to have a locus of control for sure. But to understand that we have to be able to trust in the universe, to trust in a higher power, to trust in something greater than us that's leading us down a path of having us fulfill our destinies. Finding beauty in imperfection. Life is impermanent and nothing is ever perfect, but that's what makes it beautiful. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Vanilla Sky, but there's this line in that movie where Jason Lee goes, "You wouldn't be able to enjoy the sweet without the bitter," or something along those lines. And that's so entirely true. Whenever we don't have the opportunity to experience the lows, it makes the highs so much less more rewarding because then we don't have anything to compare and contrast it to. Not everything is going to be perfect, but seeing ourselves as imperfectly perfect, seeing ourselves and accepting ourselves for who we are authentically, is a way to be in this Zen lifestyle. Embracing imperfection and transience, being in the flow. Being in the flow is something that I practice quite often. When it comes to a lot of the things that I do, except for something like this, where it was really important to me to take notes and to have like a clear and concise pathway of where I wanted to go with this. Um, I usually just kind of let things be in a free flow state. It's not that it's easier for me, it's just that I feel like I'm much more productive and I'm much more creative when I'm in that flow state. When I'm in the state of allowing ideas to come to me instead of working so hard for me to rush towards ideas or rush towards opportunities or rush towards things. I allow things to come to me. I allow things to respond to me and to my vibe. And that's something that you can totally do as well. Practical ways to live a Zen life. Simplify your physical space. Declutter your home and create a peaceful, minimal environment. Now, this doesn't mean you have to go and chuck out all of the things that you love and the things that bring you joy and the things that make you happy. It just means that life is simpler when you have a little less clutter in your life. Keep only what serves a purpose or brings joy. Now, this can actually mean something that serves a purpose, like something that's going to be helpful for you. Obviously, like the stuff you need for your kitchen or the stuff you need in your bedroom, things like that. But also the things that bring you joy, things that have sentimental value, things that you hold dear. Yes, we want to try to live without attachments, but sometimes memories and things like that are so important to us. And certain trinkets and certain gifts and certain things that we've received in our lives are important to us because they remind us of someone or a situation or a place and time that mean a lot to us. So it doesn't mean you have to get rid of all that stuff. It doesn't mean you have to go and give everything away. Although I myself did a huge deep clutter. I got rid of so many of my clothes that, in all honesty, I could probably still have used them, but I just got rid of them and I was like, you know what? This is going to serve a better purpose. This is going to go to people that actually need these clothes, even though I'm not really sure what they'll be doing in some of the clothes since they're kind of more dressy. But that's what I did. I did a complete overhaul. And then, of course, what did I start doing again? Buying again. But what I did is I made the conscious decision to only buy things that I actually need or that I actually really want. Oh, thank you so much. I made the conscious decision to, yes, donate a whole bunch of stuff to people that are less fortunate than I am. But I also decided that I wanted to re bring things back that were going to serve a purpose and that were going to be things that I love and that I enjoy and that I'm going to actually get some use out of on a daily basis, or at least for work or for whatever it is that I need it for. It's not about being a pack rat. It's not about all of that. It's about trying to be as simple as possible, but still keeping all of the things that you love and that you hold dear and that are important to you. Use natural materials and neutral colors to promote calmness. So, while pink may not be a neutral color, the reason that I have pink is because I wanted to be on theme since Valentine's Day is coming up. So please don't forget to get your partner something while you still have time. There's about, I don't know, 15, 16 days until Valentine's Day. So if you have a partner, if you have a spouse, please go and do something kind for them and get them something nice, or do something that is an act of service, something that they'll really appreciate, something that'll be very sentimental. And even this chair, it's super rainbowy, but that doesn't mean that everything has to be by the book, by the Bible, a neutral color, right? Whatever brings you joy, whatever makes you happy. This chair was a gift from a very dear friend that I've known since I was in elementary school, if you can believe that. So putting something that's more of a neutral, like a blanket on top of it, that's something that will be able to, calm my moods. I think really having a focus on solid colors, even a pop of color might cause some excitement. But if you're not in a place where, a pop of color is going to trigger you, then don't worry so much about everything being neutral and calm. Things can obviously have color. I'm all about being well, but also being wild. You have to maintain that wild side of yourself because we all need that release. We all need to have our vices. We all need to have our ways of letting our energy out in ways that are creative and productive, and also just ways that make us feel good and bring us pleasure. Organize in a way that promotes ease and flow. So, this is something that I personally struggle with big time. I love to do my diamond art. I know I've talked about this a lot, but I love to do diamond art. And the thing is that I had